Hey guys, and welcome to the channel. Now, another draw preview and prediction. And of course, we just did Queens, so do check out that video if you haven't done so already. And we're going to be doing Halle now. So that's starting actually later on today. And it's going to be a really, really interesting tournament because there's a lot of big names. Now, of course, there's some big names in Queens, but I have to say, the field at Halle is probably looks like it's slightly better. And I've had a quick skim, but I haven't looked through the draw in a lot of depth. So as usual, we're going to go through and I'm going to do my picks for the draw, give you a little bit of insight as well, hopefully into some of the matchups and how some people might play, and then give my prediction for the winner as well as we get through the matchups. On top of that as well, do remember to hit that like button, please, if you haven't done so already, and do subscribe if you're new. If you want to support us even further, you can do so by hitting that join button to become a member. And there's some exclusive content on there as well for members and some cool perks. If you are a podcast or watcher, do leave a rating or review. Cool, let's get into it. So, Daniil Medvedev, as you can see here, is definitely going to be the top seed at Halle, and he actually has a pretty difficult first round match against David Goffin, who has been in really good form. Now, Medvedev, of course, losing in the ATP final of Herton. Oh my god, I'm going to completely butcher it. Herton. You know what? I'm not even going to try and say it. A recent ATP 250 last week against a very, very, very inspired Dutch player who I have to be honest with you, I'd never ever heard of him until this week. Van Ritterven. I don't think I've ever heard of him, and that might be really bad on my part. But yeah, it was a really good win as well for the Dutch player, and it's a shame I'm not going to be able to do more coverage on him. But he beat Felix, he beat Medvedev, or Medvedev even, and yeah, I mean, just an incredible, incredible run from the Dutch player. Like a really, really tough run as well to get there to the final. Well, in fact, he got to the final and won. Like Gaston, Fritz, Ebden, Felix, and Medvedev. And then the worst thing is actually the best thing is even that third set against Felix. So they played 3 sets, was a tiebreaker, and he took it 7-5. So very clutch there. Anyways, Daniil Medvedev then, of course, has got a little bit of form on the grass. He'll be disappointed not to win that final, but I see him coming through against David Goffin. It's funny, right? Because you think that actually grass might be a surface that he really, really likes because he likes hitting the ball very flat. He'll get a lot of bang for his buck with the flatter shots, of course, in the backhand and forehand. It'll skid off the surface. It'll help him because it's a quicker surface. So it doesn't have to hit as hard through the ball. He's got a massive serve, as well as we know, which will help. The only issue he has is his volleying, as we saw at the Australian Open final for Medvedev, is not really the best part of his game. I mean, it's definitely something that he can work on, and that is relatively, it's a contributing factor, I think, to being able to win a Wimbledon. I think you need to have good hands in the net, and I think generally he has the ability to do it, but there's some things that he needs to work on, I think, to get to that level required personally. But he can still be a threat, no doubt. Ivashka versus Struff. I really like Struff. I saw him live against, Medvedev actually at Wimbledon last year in the first round encounter, and I think he took a set off Medvedev as well. I'm gonna go Struff. I'm quite high on him, although I know he hasn't been in amazing form this year. But on the grass, he's got a pretty big serve. He's like pretty big off both wings, especially the forehand. I'm gonna go with Struff. Greixspor, Molcan, that's a really good one. Greixspor's been in great form. Molcan as well. I'm gonna go Greixspor. I think his form will carry through, but it's a really tough match against Alex Molcan, I have to say. Fuchsovic, RBA, wow, great first round. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go Fuchsovic. Rublev. Oh wow, Rublev Basilishvili is a ridiculously good first round, I have to say. I'm gonna go Rublev. Now Rublev should. No, I say that Rublev should like certain. Oh god, if I can speak, I do say that Rublev should like certain conditions, right? And I say that about every single surface because part of his game, for example, on the clay, is better because he has more time to tee up the forehand, so he can make more forehands. Obviously, he can hit through the forehand more. It's a weapon. Also, the second serve is a kick serve, so he gets a little bit. I think he gets away with it a little bit. The second serve, which can be a weakness sometimes on the clay because he puts a lot of spin on it. It's not very quick though, and so he does get away with that kind of kick serve at times. Whereas on the grass, now he's not going to be able to make as many forehands. That's a given. But of course, because it's a quicker surface, his forehand is going to be a menace on this surface, right? So if he's able to make a lot of forehands, he'll have a lot of success. The issue is going to be, and the backhand, to be fair to him, has improved a lot, especially the backhand up the line. So that is, I think, if we're talking about Rublev this year compared to last year, that seems to be quite a big difference as a backhand side on the grass. So I would say that he probably should find Wimbledon slightly better this year, I would imagine. And then we're talking about the serve. The first serve's big enough, like he'll hit spots, he should get 3 points off it. His volleying isn't great, although he is trying to transition to the net more often. I've seen it, and I'm glad he's trying to at least make the effort to come in. So for Andrey Rublev, I'm very much looking forward as well to seeing how he gets on because he's a very, very powerful player. But obviously, we know that mistakes can filter into his game, and that's kind of a given. But he goes through patches where he's in really, really good form, and I'm just hoping that he goes through one of those patches at Wimbledon and he does find a little bit of a purple patch. Right, Oscar Otter versus Kevanovic. Now, Otter is a massive server. Kevanovic has been in great form. I'm just thinking that form-wise, Kevanovic will come through, but that's a really tough match, and I wouldn't be surprised if Otter causes the upset. Zher, Squire, I'm actually going to go with Zher. Karatsev, Khachanov for me. Now, the quarterfinals of Wimbledon last year, he can move on the surface a lot easier. His serve is a lot better as well, I think, in the last couple of years. Just seems to enjoy the grass and moves well on it. Karatsev doesn't look at home at all on the grass. Hurkacz, Cressy, that's a really good match because Hurkacz loves the grass. Of course, big server, comes to the net a lot. Doesn't have huge power off both forehand and backhand, but relies on hitting a good approach shot and coming to the net, finishing off the point there. Cressy just serves and volleys, so we're going to see a lot of short points, I'd imagine. That's a great matchup. Might not last very long, though. I'm going to go Hurkacz. I think he's got slightly too much quality, but don't sleep on Maxime Cressy because I tell you what, he could frustrate Hurkacz. Humber. I'm going to go Humber, although Humber's been in terrible form, and actually it's a shame because in Stuttgart he lost early as well, and I was thinking, that it'll stop the rot, right, coming into the grass court swing, but it hasn't. He's had a really, really poor year, and I'm not sure exactly what's going on because there could be external factors, but I'm not privy to it. But generally, obviously, looking at it from a results point of view, he's just fallen off a cliff really this year, which is a bit weird because he's, 23? 24, so you'd expect him to kind of continually improve, but he's kind of done the opposite. He's regressed this year. McDonald, Heusser, I'm going to go McDonald. Giron versus Felix. Felix should have a good grass court swing. He'll be in the top 5 favorites. I think I was saying on the Queen's video, he's there. So I think it's Djokovic, Nadal, Felix, Berrettini, and I don't know who else, actually. It's a good point. Sorry, excuse me. I'm not sure. PCB versus Whole Garoon. Now, Whole Garoon has been in fantastic form. Really has been. I'm going to go with him. I think he's confident. PCB, it's difficult because he loves the hard courts. I'm not quite sold with him on the grass. We'll see how he gets on. Korda Garin, I'm going to Korda. He had a really long match against Khachanov last year at Wimbledon. Not the highest of quality, but it was very close to winning that. It was a round of 16, if I'm not mistaken. And then Khachanov obviously made the quarterfinals, and Korda I think could be another quarterfinalist this year. I think he could do and make big strides. Garin is at home on the clay, not on the grass. Kyrgios Altmaier. Kyrgios obviously making the semi-finals of Stuttgart last week, losing to Murray in a pretty tame fashion, I have to say, but it was a good run whilst it lasted. Bonzi versus Tsitsipas. He didn't play that badly against Andy Murray. I think Andy Murray just kind of outmaneuvered him. Bit too clever for Tsitsipas on the day, but it wasn't a bad performance, especially that first set where it went to a tiebreaker. So I'm going to go Tsitsipas. Medvedev, Struff, going to go Medvedev in a, or Medvedev even, in a Wimbledon rematch from last year, of course. Well, at Halle, but the same matchup, of course, at Wimbledon. Took it in 4 sets. It will only be best of 3. So I'd imagine Medvedev will come through in straight sets. Although might face some adversity. Grigsport, Fucsovic going to go Fucsovic. Rublev, Kevanovic, Rublev. Khachanov to beat Zer. Humber, I just think, yeah, Humber is very difficult to even pick you in the first round. It sounds crazy to say because he loves the grass, but I don't know. McDonald, Felix, going to go Felix. Roon versus Korda. Great match. I'm going to go Roon. I actually think he's in better form right now than Korda. The Korda, I mean, he lost to Alcaraz at Roland Garros, which is a tough matchup. No, yeah, I'm going to go Roon. Kyrgios, Tsitsipas. Going to go Kyrgios. I think Kyrgios will beat Tsitsipas on the grass. He's a better grass court player at the moment. I'm telling you. The only reason why Kyrgios won't go far at Wimbledon is one reason only, and that's himself. If he self-implodes, like one of our subscribers, Alex, mentioned, he has no chance because it's such a mental game, tennis as well. He has all the tools. He, up here, is fine. He'll go far. He could even be a contender. I'm not even joking for Wimbledon. Genuinely, especially with a lot of the players, like none of the Russians are there, none of the Belarusians are there, like because unfortunately of the sanctions. So that makes a big hole. Like no Medvedev, no Rublev, no Khachanov, no Karatsev, no, like whoever you want to say. Like it's a lot of players, right? And there's going to be some players skipping it as well. So for Kyrgios, this could, people laugh about him winning a Grand Slam and stuff, but he's definitely got the talent to do it. And this is probably one of the best opportunities he'd ever get to a Grand Slam final, for example. Just saying. Then Medvedev versus Fucsovic, going to go with Medvedev. Rublev, Khachanov, going to go with Khachanov. Felix, going to, that's a tough one, I'm going to go with Felix. Roon, Kyrgios. Then Medvedev, Khachanov. Going to go Khachanov, actually, to beat Medvedev. And then Kyrgios, Felix. I'm actually going to go with Felix. They played each other. Where did they play each other? It was on the clay, right? It was in a clay court tournament, if I'm not mistaken. No, it wasn't. It was in the Sunshine Double, I think. And he just said Felix was too good. He has a lot of respect for Felix. I think the thing with Felix is that he serves so big and has been serving so big. Kyrgios might get frustrated in that sense. And he's a better returner than Kyrgios. Kyrgios is a better server when he's on form, but not by that much. He's not a better server than Felix is a better returner than Kyrgios, right? If that makes sense. So, yeah, we'll see. Cool. Okay. Thanks very much, guys. Really appreciate it. Please remember to smash that like button if you haven't done so already. And the winner for me is going to be Felix Auger-Aliassime. So, yeah, that's my picks. Thanks very much, guys. Appreciate it. If you haven't done so already, remember to hit that like button, subscribe if you're new, leave a rating or review if you're a podcast listener or watcher, and we'll see you on the next video. Thank you.